Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Christina with Cuddles by Christina. And happy Monday. It has been a minute since I was able to hop on. I did make a little short a few days ago on my flight. I got home late last night from my trip, which I would tell you all about. A lot happened. And I also just wanted to mostly just talk about traveling with a reborn because it was definitely an experience. So I am sitting down. Normally I just stand in front of my ring light. My feet are so swollen, you guys. So I hope this angle is okay. Yeah, I think it's fine. So anyway, I'm trying to catch up on everyone's videos as much as I can. I'm not able to really download any videos, so I couldn't watch anything on the plane or when I was at the airport. Well, I could at the airport kind of, but you know, when you're running to make connections and everything, not a whole lot of time. It was a very, very busy weekend. And since it is Monday, first, before I get into it, that means it is Whatever I Want Monday, hosted by our lovely friend Dee over at TheBabyPatch. And this is what I want for Monday to tell you guys about my trip. So I just wanted to first kind of go over what I was doing in Portland because I know I've talked about my diagnosis with Turner syndrome before, but I do have new subscribers, and sometimes even old subscribers don't always, get to watch every video or, catch everything. So I was in Portland for the National Turner Syndrome Convention, which I go to every summer. It's the highlight of my summer. I love it. It's in a new city every year. And I've been doing it for about 13 years now. I've been going to these conventions, and I work with the youth program. So there's essentially a conference within a conference. The youth program is sort of a smaller part of the bigger Turner syndrome conference as a whole, if that makes sense. So I work with a few different age groups. It always varies. This year I was with the 11 to 13 year olds, and the girls were just amazing. They really were. But then it's bittersweet, as girls, grow up, of course, they move into different age groups, and then, of course, they age out of the youth program and go to the conference as full-fledged adults. So one girl who was in my group probably 7 or 8 years ago, she just got engaged. So I saw her at the conference and I couldn't believe it. I said, "Oh my God, you're already an adult. How are you able to get married? You were just in my group as, this teenager." It's crazy because I do feel like they become, my kids. They're my girls. And so it's always, emotional as they grow up, and just it's crazy how the time flies. So I was very happy for her, and it's always nice seeing girls that I'd worked with in the past, who now just come to the conference as adults and not in the youth program anymore. It's a lot of fun. I don't get to see most of most of my friends in the Turner syndrome group except for once a year. So in case anyone has not really caught any of my videos, I was diagnosed with Turner syndrome when I was 10. Turner syndrome is a rare genetic disorder where I am missing one of my X chromosomes. So instead of 2 X's, which means you're female, or XY, meaning you're male, I just have the 1 X. And Turner syndrome has a range of symptoms because it can vary. Some girls with Turner's are only missing part of the X in some of their cells. Some have a complete deletion of the X chromosome in every one of their cells. And that's what I have. I have what's called classic Turner syndrome, meaning every one of my cells is missing an X chromosome, basically. So it is not always easy to connect with other people who have the same condition you do. And that's what this convention is about, all about connecting people who may have never met another woman with Turner syndrome. And that's what I love about it. And I'm not going to make this video, all about medical stuff, but I just wanted to sort of chat a little bit about that, because I do think it's important to spread knowledge. And that's also what the Turner Syndrome Conference is about, also just spreading that knowledge, because, we go to these different cities and there's usually about 700 people at these conferences. And, other people at the hotel see us with our t-shirts and they're like, oh, what is that? What's the Turner Syndrome Society? Like, what is Turner Syndrome? And we get to explain. So that's always really cool. And I always feel like a rock star. Every year when I get to the hotel, it usually takes about 30 seconds before someone finds me and is screaming out, Christina! So it's a lot of fun. Busy but fun. So when so I'll get to the airport stuff first, and I'm sure I'll have more conference stories as well to kind of intersperse between. But I did take my sweet little Esme, and she wanted to tell you all about our travels. I did switch her outfit off camera because, she was traveling in her cozy little teddy bear outfit, and we just wanted to get out of that and into something fresh and clean in her little rainbow outfit first. And, oh, you lost your headband, girl. Here, we'll just show off your cute little outfit. But look at all the little rainbows. Isn't that sweet? Hi, Auntie Bobo. We're wearing rainbows for you. So, yeah, look at my sweet girl. Look at how gorgeous she is. Oh my gosh. So I was incredibly nervous about traveling with the doll. I didn't know what to expect. So I kind of played it both ways. So on my first flight, I just loved seeing people's reactions when I said, no, she's a doll. She's not real. So, luckily getting through security wasn't an issue. They didn't take her apart or anything, because that's something I was worried about. I didn't want them to, pop her head off. I know that's easy to get a zip tie and put it back on, but, I didn't want to do that to my sweet girl. So luckily, TSA wasn't a problem. They just let me go through the big metal detector and they swabbed my hands. And they were very impressed. Like, the first TSA agents were like, wait, is she real? And I'm like, no, she's a doll. She's a doll. So when I was getting ready to board my first flight, luckily with Southwest, they have open seating. So, and I think that's a lot better than having to pay for assigned seats. Like, I think it's absolutely ridiculous. You have to pay an additional $75 to get a seat in the front of the plane. So dumb. So I flew Southwest, and as long as you have the first boarding group, you can sit wherever you want. But because I did have little Esme, they put, and I didn't ask for this, but on my boarding pass, they put extra time, which is what they give for, people traveling with young children, or people who just, they need to get on the plane before everyone does. And that helped a lot. So I did get to sit near the front of the plane, and this woman who was just diagonal to me, just like a row or two back, she was looking at me and she goes, oh my God, is she real? I said, no, she's a doll. And her doll, I wish I could have filmed this reaction. She was like, you're kidding me. Oh my gosh, she looks so real. And I said, do you want to hold her? And so I handed her over. She was like, oh my God, I can't believe how she feels. I said, I know. So she just wanted to know everything. I told her, there's, of course, a wide range of price points and, different artists. But I did tell her to go, just on Reborns.com is where you can find all the different artists. And I don't know, I think she might buy one whenever she got to where she was going. But her and whoever she was traveling with, they were both like in complete awe of little Esme. And then this other woman who was right behind me, she goes, not in a nasty way, but she goes, I just have to ask you, what is the purpose of carrying, a fake baby? And I said, well, it's actually therapeutic. It helps a lot with depression and anxiety. And personally, I struggle with infertility. And she goes, oh, no, that makes perfect sense. Like, once I kind of explained it, I didn't get into a whole long discussion, but she kind of understood. But she was definitely curious. So yeah, people were fascinated. I will say, for if and when I do travel with any baby the next time, I would suggest investing in a better carrier. So here, I'll show you just my little Temu sling. So it's just a pink sling like that. And, of course, this is more, doll-like. So I just kind of had her for most of the flight. She was just kind of hammocked in like this. I mean, still realistic, but I think in the future, I would invest in a really good, like, actual carrier that you can put on your chest, like, just to make it a bit easier and just to look even more real. This worked out fine, but I'd only used this really at the doll show. And, it's a different experience when you're actually on a super long flight, especially when you have to have a layover and whatnot. So I think I would have had even more reactions if I had a different carrier. But this is what I used. I just kind of sat with her like this, and it was hard when we were trying to open the tray whenever I wanted to put my drink down or a snack or what have you. But I made it work. So there was kind of a benefit to letting people know that it is just a doll. Is if you do need to use the restroom, obviously you're not going to leave an actual infant just on the seat, but you can't carry a doll like this into a tiny airplane bathroom. So I was able to just sort of leave her when I had to get up and go to the bathroom on the seat, and they knew she wasn't real. But yeah, it was definitely an experience. And then when I finally got to Portland and I got in my hotel, everything was delayed. Oh my God. The time difference is still killing me. I am still so jet lagged, and I'll get to more of that in a minute. But I got to the hotel, and some of my friends were already there, in the room. And when they saw Esme, they couldn't believe it either. Their reactions, I was actually a little bit more nervous about how my friends would react, because who cares what a stranger thinks? But they loved her. They absolutely loved her, because I don't really talk about dolls or YouTube with those friends. It's just not something that comes up that I talk about. But they were like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that, you have these babies and you do YouTube. And I was telling them about Reborns.com, and they were looking like, I want one. So I do think I converted a few people into potentially buying their first reborn. So it was really cute. So my friends were very impressed. And yeah, so I got settled in the hotel. Oh my gosh, except this hotel, it was really nice, but there was no mini fridge. And I need my chocolate milk in the morning. I'm sorry, I'm not a coffee drinker, really. I will sometimes like an iced coffee, but when I first wake up, I still need my chocolate milk. So it was already late when I landed. It was like 10:30 in Portland, so it was already 1:30, almost 2 a.m. to my body, because I've been traveling all day. I was still on East Coast time. I had to stay up 2 hours for a mini fridge so that I would have something to put milk in. It was ridiculous. What if she was a real baby and I needed to put milk in the fridge, It was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. So then Friday, I didn't bring Esme out to like any of the other conference stuff. Like I didn't want her to, be in the group with all the girls. Not that I think any of the kids would have done anything to her. I don't know. I just was nervous about what could potentially happen. So Esme stayed in the room, but Friday, the conference was in full swing. So the girls had, a few different speakers come and talk to them about health things, about school, and all of that stuff. We made friendship bracelets. So the day actually flew by pretty fast, but it was still tiring. It was very, very tiring when you have there was probably about 15, 16 girls in my group. So me and one of my good friends. So it's 2 youth leaders per age group. And usually there's about 15 to 20 kids in each group when they break it up by ages, like 11 to 13 and 14 to 17. And then, the younger kids have, well, that would be even more exhausting. Then, you have the younger kids with different youth leaders. So it is definitely a group effort. But the girls were great. We had a lot of fun. And then, so Saturday, there were some more speakers. We did some karaoke, and I got to FaceTime my girl, Sandra. Hey, Sandra. She had to talk me down about something not YouTube or doll related, which I'm not going to get into. But thank you for making me feel better, Sandra. So Saturday was another busy day with the girls. We had a big dance party. And then just like that, it was time to go again. Like, it just flew by. So flying home was, I'll just say this, it was a nightmare. And I'm still jet lagged and I'm still recovering. But it was funny when I left yesterday, when I got to the airport and I checked in with my bag, the desk agent wanted to give Esme a boarding pass. She said, oh, it's free, but all babies, no matter the age, they need a boarding pass. It'll only take a minute. I said, no, she's a doll. She doesn't need a boarding pass. Although that would have been funny. It would have been a fun souvenir. But, I wasn't going to take it that far. They probably would have needed, some type of identity card or birth certificate. I don't know what they use for babies. If you're flying with a real baby, I don't know. I get why they need a boarding pass, but I was like, no, she's just a doll. And she was like, oh my gosh, really? And even just when I was walking to my gate, this mother and daughter told me, they're like, oh, how old is she? And I said, she's about 5 weeks. I don't know why I came up with that age. It just seemed like a more reasonable. Because she's tiny. She is tiny. And they're like, oh my God, so new. And they were looking right at her. Had no idea she was a doll. Had no idea. So then I was getting ready to board. And again, another agent was like, oh, she needs a boarding pass too. I said, no, she doesn't. But when I sat down, these other 2 women were like, oh my gosh, she's so beautiful. And I said, oh, thank you so much. I didn't tell them that she was a doll. They were like, oh my God, and she's being so good. I know. I said, she's an angel. She's an angel, baby. I said, yeah, we've been traveling, all day. But, wish me luck. We're headed to Orlando. And, so far, so good. Oh my gosh. So the whole flight, it was hilarious. When we finally landed, I had a layover in St. Louis. And they were like, I can't believe that baby didn't make a peep. They were like, you have the best baby ever. I said, I know. I really do. I don't know if by then they suspected maybe she was a doll. Just because normally an infant would do something after an hour or two, or they just thought, she was really tired and knocked out. I don't know what they thought, but they were very sweet and they thought she was beautiful. So then I had my layover and this is where the night took a turn for the worst. Oh my gosh. So I walked all the way to where it said my gate was, and I look and it said this flight was going to LaGuardia. And I'm like, LaGuardia? I miss New York, but that's not my flight. So I still have Esme like this, and I'm talking to an agent, you know, at the desk, and I said, excuse me, can you confirm like where my flight is? I'm going to Orlando. He said, oh, there was a gate change. It's not here anymore. You have to go back to like gate E7, whatever it was. And when I tell you that this airport was huge, the airport in Portland too, I'll just say, like, I had to walk literally over a mile when I got off the plane to actually get to baggage claim and to get to the hotel. It was ridiculous. And then same thing in St. Louis. I landed, I walked not a full mile, but just under. Like, it was still far. It was like a good 3/4 of a mile. And I had already been traveling. I said, I can't do it. I said, I am exhausted. My feet, guys, are still so swollen. I said, do you have like one of those golf carts or something to take me back over? I said, I can't do it. I have to get to this flight. I can't go all the way back to where I came. And I don't know how I missed it. I mean, I wasn't looking at every board as I was walking, so maybe that was partially my fault. I would have seen the flight that said Orlando, but I wasn't. You know, so the guy said, no, we don't have anything like that. And I'm in tears, you guys. I'm tired still, and I'm just like, oh my God, I have to walk all that way back. So I turned to walk away, and these two women who were sitting right there said, oh my God, she has a new baby. They said, no, get her a wheelchair. And they've stuck up for me. Oh my God, you guys. I felt bad in a way, but I kind of don't. And so the guy at the desk, he's like, oh, I didn't see her there. He's like, I'm sorry. He's like, I'll get you a wheelchair. And I thank them so much. I'm like, oh my gosh, you didn't have to speak up for me. Thank you. And they're looking at it. They're like, oh my gosh, congratulations. How old is she? What's her name? Everyone loved the name Esme, by the way. And so, like, guys, please don't judge me. I wouldn't have taken the wheelchair if like there was a shortage, or if someone really needed it, like right behind me. But guys, when I tell you how tired I was and how jet lagged, and my feet were just done. Like, I wasn't trying to be lazy. And I'm like, why change the gate that last minute? I'm sorry. If you keep changing the gate, I don't know how you expect people to walk all over creation. So they got me a wheelchair as I'm holding her like this. And my little purse and my little carry-on are hanging off the back of the wheelchair. And they wheel me back like 3/4 of a mile back to my correct gate. It was hilarious. Oh my God. So I made it. I made it to my right gate with Esme. She did so wonderful on all of these flights. And then, okay, so I landed in Orlando. It was already after midnight. I'm exhausted. I go to baggage claim. Luckily, my bag came like right away. I didn't have to wait, too long for that. And so my phone was almost dead because there were no chargers on either of my flights. I think that's ridiculous. I know some planes are older, but my phone was about to die. I'm like, all right, let me just get a lift real quick. Hopefully I can maybe charge it in a car somewhere. So I get a lift, and I live about an hour from the airport. Okay, so it is a bit of a ride. It's not cheap. Okay, it's a lot of money, but how else am I gonna get anywhere, So I order a lift, and I'm waiting, right outside the number it said. It was, baggage claim 11, and I'm watching as it says the car is right there. It pulled up. I'm looking. This car isn't there. So I call the driver, and I'm like, where are you? Where are you? I don't see you anywhere. He hangs up on me. So then I message him in the app. I said, I'm right here. I have a big purple suitcase. Where are you? What's going? Nothing. I tried calling him again. I'm here. He's like huffing and puffing, getting an attitude with me. I said, where are you? I don't see you. I'm right here. It says you're here, but you're obviously not. So then the car pulls up and the guy has an attitude. I'm like, whatever. It's too late for this. I'm, again, exhausted. So he gets my suitcase. I get in the car. We pull out of the airport. He didn't speak English, so he was using, I guess, a translator app on his phone. And he said, oh, this ride was canceled. How am I going to get paid? And I said, well, I didn't cancel it. I said, why did you cancel? And he just said, well, I have to get paid. I have to get paid. I don't know where I'm going. The ride was canceled. And I look on my phone. It said my ride had been canceled by the driver. And I'm like, what the hell? So this asshole turns around, takes me back to the airport. Mind you, it's like almost like 1 a.m. at this point. Takes me back to the airport. I call the cops. I'm like, I don't know what to do. My phone is going to die. I can't get another car. I need to get home. I can't do this. I was freaking out, you guys. It was a nightmare. So these really nice cops show up. You know, they talk to the guy. They said, well, he just says the ride was canceled and he can't take you. And I said, you don't understand. I have a dead phone. I need to get another ride. So they were nice about it. So they took me inside. They got me a charger. But still, so I had to wait for my phone to charge. I had to contact Lyft to get a credit for my ride. Then book another ride. Wait for another driver to come. I finally got home, you guys. It was like 2:30 in the morning. Yeah. I got home at 2:30 this morning. And I slept in until like 11:30. I swear, guys, my jet lag is still like brutal. I am still all kinds of confused, all kinds of messed up. So I'm trying to catch up on sleep. I knew that I wasn't going to work today because I knew my flight was getting in late anyway. But guys, I don't even know if I'm going to work tomorrow. Like, I'm still trying to unpack and everything. I was having a very lazy day today. And I think I deserve it. But yeah, I reported that guy. I said, this is not fair. I don't know why he couldn't find me. I don't know why he canceled this ride. But it wasn't fair. So Lyft gave me all of $5 as credit. That's what they gave me. So yeah, but I made it home safe, and so did Esme. It was, like I said, definitely an adventure. But I will say, I definitely recommend taking your babies with you. Don't be afraid to travel, because I had nothing but great reactions. I mean, definitely some questions like, why are you doing this? But no one was mean or nasty or like, what's wrong with you? I had so many amazing reactions, and people just loved looking at her. I mean, how can you not love that little face? So yeah, it was great. Like I said, I would definitely get something else as a carrier, especially for a longer flight. I guess if it's a short flight, you know, something like this would still be fine. But I wouldn't travel across the country with something like this again. This was just from Temu, by the way, in case I didn't say that earlier. But yeah, just from the people at the ticketing desk at the gate, and, you know, the flight attendants, other passengers, it was just really cool sharing this artwork. Yeah, so Esme, I think, did enjoy traveling, even though she's tired as well. We both still need lots more sleep. But yeah, that was our adventure. And I'm going to let you guys go for now. Oh gosh, it's almost a half hour already. I'm starving. Since I woke up late, I ate late, and so my eating schedule is all messed up too. But I hope you guys enjoyed seeing Esme and hearing my crazy stories about Reborn traveling. And please no nasty comments about me using a wheelchair. I'm sorry. I did not take it away from anyone. I was just exhausted, guys. It was a lot. But it was a great experience overall. I'm happy I got to go to conference, and I'm happy I got to bring Esme along. But I'm just happy to be home. I'm happy to finally be home and not have to deal with Lyft for now anyway. I'm not making any other travel plans soon. So anyway, I hope you guys are having a good week so far. I missed you guys. I'm still catching up on videos. So I will definitely be watching more tonight. I will try to go to bed at a reasonable time. I'm going to try to get back on East Coast schedule, but we'll see. We'll see how many I can get through and catch up on. But I love you guys, and thank you so much for watching. I will see everyone very soon. I'm sure at some point this week. You never know. And take care, guys. All right. I love you, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.